you. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
Anyway, those are some of the names we're keeping an eye on. The Dallas Cowboys are a team that people are keeping an eye on because should they be bringing in people? If they want to have a season, they probably need to. Should they be trading away people? If they lose a couple of games, they probably should. Stephen A. Smith had this to say about the continued struggles in Big D.
It's so bad in Dallas, it's hard for me to laugh. And you know how much I love laughing about those Cowboys. It's bad. There are Jerry Jones. There is no way around it. That's my Libra buddy. You know that. Horrible job. Did nothing this offseason.
So, I mean, look how painful that was for Stephen A. to say. Someone check on Stephen A. and make sure that he's okay with it. I mean, it's that bad, right? Like, Danny, we talked about it obviously on Monday, and as the week has gone on and you have looked at the film even more carefully, what people have told me is it actually gets worse the more you watch it.
And there's nothing that's going to come save the Cowboys. Their roster is realistically the worst it's been since Dak Prescott has been their quarterback. Accumulation of talent-wise, this is their worst roster they've had in close to a decade. That's why a trade is not going to save this football team. They've been outrushed by 400 yards in 6 games. No one person is going to change that. They don't do a single thing offensively well. They're bad in explosive plays. They're bad on first downs. There's no explosive pass game part to their offense right now other than a play or two from CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott running a go route. That's quite literally all that they do. So there's nothing that's going to fix this football team. Their schedule is absolutely brutal. I think Dallas, and I said this, Greeny, the day after they got dump trucked by the Packers, brace for reality. You're staring at, unless you steal a win or two, 5, 6, 7 wins max as a football team.
Look at that. Look at that schedule. They're going to win in San Francisco? That's a tough match. They're going to win in Atlanta?
I don't think so.
No. Home for Philadelphia?
That's a coin flip right now.
Texans at home? Tough one. At Washington?
They might score 40.
I mean, let me tell you something.
Correct. Yeah, to be clear.
Hey, this is a bonanza for Stephen A. Smith.
The roster's not as talented as people thought. This team is so far from the team that won 12 games in a row. There were 12 3 years in a row.
By people, you mean the owner. That's the problem, is that many of us did see this coming. I said this all summer long. You said it all summer long. They haven't gotten better.
It wasn't hard to see,
They just got more expensive. They didn't make any improvements. He talked about being all in, but he didn't actually do anything that made them all in.
By the way, we spent a lot of time this week going after Nick Sirianni for going after fans. And Jerry Jones got saved by the fact that there were 3 trades that went down on a day where he went after a radio host and essentially said, I can get you out of here if you don't start asking questions the way that I like them asked, considering that I'm paying these employees. And that got kind of pushed to the side because of all the NFL trade activity. But we've had 2 people in the NFC East go after other people this week. One's gotten the lion's share of the attention, and Jerry Jones hasn't.
No, we've talked about it here. And look, that was beneath him. That's how I described it. The reality of it is that felt like a person who recognizes, like, the first place you get defensive is when everyone's criticizing you and they're right. Like, if people are criticizing you and you know they're wrong, then there's something inside of you that it just doesn't bother you that much. He realizes that it's all right. And unfortunately now, I think what Dan is saying, and I'd like to know if you agree, is there's nothing he can do about it to save this.
We're better off asking what the Jaguars need to do to save their season. We keep talking about the Cowboys. The Jaguars have Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Etienne. They have so much talent on their roster. The Cowboys just bring eyeballs, but they don't have it. There are no trades to make.
I know what they can do. The worst thing that can happen to you when you lose 47-9 is have a bye week. We're going to be doing 9-7. We're going to be doing Oklahoma drill. There's no damn team peers going to be best on best.
The most interesting thing about the Cowboys is, will they be willing to trade DeMarcus Lawrence? That's the really, as of right now, in October, that's the most interesting.
By the way, what I find fascinating about the Cowboys is they're in their bye week. What other team in the NFL would be on its bye week that would dominate conversation the way the Dallas Cowboys have?
No, none. That's the problem. Well, that's the point. Is that we.
What other team that is sucking ass on a bye week getting beat 40-something to 9, dominate the news. Dominate the news. It's the Dallas Cowboys. And that, my friends, is what it may be really all about. You know what? I was texting with Philly 500 because I told him, I said, bro, I'm going to take my victories any way I can. And I said, you better not lose to the Giants. You better not, because I tell you what, with it being a bye week, I may have very few times where I'm going to have some fun. Oh, look, there's Regina Green. What's up, Regina Green? And Lady Libra. Shout out to the ladies in the place. I see Philly D's in the house, Derek Young, Jeff Lee. Curtis is in the house. Twiz Digga. Thanks, Twiz. Dirty Sanchez. I got a brand new couches coming on Thursday. I don't know why I'm so happy about it, but I am. Okay. Sugar Daddy's in the house. Lovely Linda. What's up, Linda? How are you doing? Star Trekker. Greenwell Jets have made the playoffs. Haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. Yeah, and that's interesting because the Jets have spent more money in free agency than anybody else. So somewhere there's a happy medium between the Cowboys spending the least and the Jets spending the most. That somewhere in there's a happy medium that gets you enough wins but doesn't get you in trouble. We will never know because we got Jerry Jones. So I was talking to Philly 500. Oh, by the way, shout out to BetUS. Oh, my goodness. I got to replay this from last night because last night was actually really good. I talked to my dad. He called me yesterday evening. I forgot who was playing on Thursday night. And he said, well, son, what do you think on the games? I said, well, Dad, I said, who's playing? He said, Denver and New Orleans. And I said, well, where's it at? He said, it's in New Orleans. I was like, okay. I said, what's the point spread? I said, Denver -3. And I said, man, New Orleans is New Orleans is playing bad, but New Orleans at home, that's it's hard. That's a hard place to play. I said, if it's in Denver, I'd definitely take Denver. He said, well, I'm taking Denver. I said, okay, Dad. And then he said, the over and under is 37. And he said, I'm going to take the over. I said, Dad. I said, we're talking about two inept teams right now. Neither of them can score. I'm taking the over, like a dad would say. I said, okay, Dad, I'll book it for you. And lo and behold, boom. Good thing he didn't listen to me because he would have lost on both bets. I called him this morning and said, Dad, you were right on both of them. That's right. He said, how much did I get? I said, you won $48 off of your $50 that you bet. So definitely a good father and son moment for us. But if you are into gambling and you want to try BetUS, use the promo code YouTube150 so that way you can get 150% matching. Oh, Roland's Reviews in the house. What's up, Roland? How are you doing tonight? All right, so I got Jonathan G. and Rory over on the other channel and things. So do we need to recap everything that's happened this week? Or should we just go through Jim Mora again? Because Jim Mora actually said it perfectly. Well, what happened was, we couldn't block anybody. We couldn't tackle anybody and so on. And me personally, I'm getting a lot of shit. Holly Pierce in the house. Cowboy fans, we're mad. We are mad and we're disappointed big time. And everybody is lashing out, including the owner, Jerry Jones. Everybody wants a different result. Everybody hoped for a different result. But we're like a kid that just found out there's no Santa Claus. And everybody's pissed off and they want some blood from any place they can get it. And I got people that are coming after me that are swearing on, especially on a day where, congratulations, Dak Prescott. You're getting married, bro. That marital bliss. Yes. That person that you are going to spend a life with until death do you part. Death do you part. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, buddy. The honey-do list, they'll be there. Take out the trash. Hey, can you do something in a minute? Oh, but in a minute's not soon enough. It's not soon enough, okay? All right, but congratulations, Dak Prescott. But I saw, let me see if I can find it. I saw, I think it was Outlaw. Outlaw posted this today, okay? And this is what I keep trying to say to people, and people want to just ignore this. They want to instantly go ahead and say, just like they always did, just like they did with Tony Romo, which is part of the reason why I started doing this, was because people were constantly saying, it's Tony Romo, he just sucks. People are ignoring the fact that we've given up 167 points at home in 4 games. In 4 games, 167 points. So Outlaw posted this. Currently, the Dallas Cowboys are 32nd in rush offense. I don't know if you guys understand what it means when you say 32 out of 32. That means you are the worst. There's only 31 other teams, and they're all doing a better job than you are in rushing football. That is a fact. The Cowboys, with their wide receiver core. Now, I kept saying, we should try and get another wide receiver to go in there with some more experience to help open things up. And people go to me and say, well, no, you got CeeDee Lamb. We just paid CeeDee Lamb. And it's like, but do you understand that you look at, the Eagles, they got Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. They got 2 guys, and they got Dallas Goedert that you look at San Francisco. They got Ayuk and, Deebo Samuels and George Kittle and things. You see a multitude of guys out there, right? With our receiving core, with the guys we have. Now, keep in mind, we have 31 teams that are better than us at running the football. We are 32nd in separation. That means the amount of space that the receivers, they go out there, they make the move, cut, boom, and they're wide open. We ain't wide open. We have the least amount of separation in football. The guys are not getting open. We're 32nd. Pass blocking. Our stalwart offensive lineman, Zach, I hope it's just like a minor injury. Maybe he had back spasms or something. But he had a 0 pass blocking grade last week. 0. Goose egg. We're a bottom 10 pass blocking offensive line. Bottom 10. That's towards the end. The play calling seems to be suspect. And the defense, total defense, is in the bottom 3. And yet, as Ernie put it, comments, these are the kind of comments we get. Dak has to overcome the bad play around him and carry the team for the money he makes. That's literally the mentality. Terrence Blackwell, shout out to Terrence. Terrence, becoming a channel member. If you go to the community tab, there is a members post that will get you to our the links, so that way we can get your contact information, so we can send you a Cowboys stress ball and shot glass. Appreciate it. Just a silly comment. Roland's view, I haven't watched since halftime of the Green Bay game. It seems no effort in the offense except for Dak. Right, and so I'm sitting here, I'm trying to explain to people, and it's like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And I say, we cannot run the football. We cannot get open. We cannot pass block. And people say, Dak. It's you, Dak. That's on you, Dak. You're a turnover machine. And I say, he'll throw an interception. People say he should have thrown it away. If Dak Prescott were to throw away all the passes that guys weren't open, we probably have very few passes that were actually thrown. You guys saw what one of the cornerbacks said from Detroit, right? They said, we knew all we had to do was cover CeeDee Lamb, and the game was over. Game's over. The Cowboys are one-trick pony. And that's it. That's it. You got one target, can't use play action. Your coach seems to be numbnuts now. Can't call plays. Hey, Ruben Walls, Sugar Daddy, we need some real fans in our statement, not corporate sponsors and their families. Glimmerman, what Lions running back you could have had? At the moment, well, we've got rumors out there. Let's be clear here. We always have rumors out there, but we never have any action going on. As we put it, Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys are the anti-Jets. They have spent the absolute bottom when it comes to free agency over the last 8 years. We need to fix the line, period. Unfortunately, here's the problem. There's not a whole lot of fixing that you can do at this point in the season. People say, just fire Mike McCarthy. Yeah. At this point, it's kind of like you got a Ferrari, right? You got a Ferrari, and you got no engine in it. You got no engine. Zero. You got no wheels on it. And you look at the mechanic and say, why isn't it running? He's going to tell you, because you don't have an engine and you don't have any tires. Well, that's not what I want to hear. Let me fire the mechanic and I'll get another one in here to tell me what I want to hear. Which is exactly what Jerry Jones did with the 105 The Fan. Don't ask me questions. Listen. I don't expect people who I write a check for to question what I do. Now, I'm going to say, I am so disappointed in my Cowboys. How do we go from 12-win seasons to this crap again? A lot of injuries, some players aging out. I mean, let's okay. And Dan Quinn, who took a lot of abuse and somehow with mirrors kept the defense going. But here's what I'm going to actually say is the real problem, I think, is it's age. It's age. The game has passed Jerry Jones by, not that Jerry Jones ever had it without Jimmy Johnson. This whole thing goes back to firing Jimmy. Everything goes back there. Jerry Jones' ego. It's not enough for him to be, the richest owner in football, the most valuable franchise, to be able to get the Grand Prix or World Cup soccer, to create the player the NFL and the NFLPA agreements, to be constantly talked about. he still wants the credit for those 3 Super Bowls. That's what all this is about. And he's willing to go ahead and crash the boat trying. The average age of NFL GMs are 47 years old. 12 years younger than me. See, those guys, they grew up with, text messaging and, the internet and things, right? When Jerry Jones fired Jimmy, .coms just started. The internet was nothing like this. You still had, big ass flip phones, cell phones. Jerry Jones is old. How do we think that Jerry Jones, who you literally talking about, scouting the guy with Jamie Foxx there, is talking about the guy's got an 8.5 inch, pecker. Is that 8.5 inch pepper helping us win the game? Last time I checked, I don't know. I don't know. That's maybe a matrix. That may be a matrix that I didn't know about for winning Super Bowls. So, no problem, Alan. I'm just glad you're here, buddy. So I'm just like, so Jerry Jones is making all these decisions, right? And then you got his son, Catboy, who has been put in charge of the money. If the Cowboys were really serious, and I don't think they are, I hate to say, maybe the Raiders are in a better position than we are right now. Maybe bringing in Tom Brady will change what Mark Davis does. Maybe they're in a better position than we are. But you've got Jerry Jones, who now we know you can't question what he is doing. You can't. If a radio host can't ask a question of why the season is imploding, how are we going to go ahead and have Mike McCarthy say, hey, Jerry, I need some players? Byron B, my life is over. Pray for my soul, please. What do you mean, Byron? Where is the community chat? Oh, the community chat. If you go to my homepage, it'll say community on it, on my homepage. Go to my homepage, or I'll tell you what, if you can't find that, my elbow, it's wrapped up. It's actually more sore since they took out 40 cc's of fluid. I feel like I got Jerry Jones in there, and it really hurts. It hurts bad thinking about Jerry Jones in there swimming around. If you don't know where the community tab is, email me cowboysmark94@gmail.com, and I'll get it from there. Brian, are you busy? Because I'd like to get your take on this. We got to start getting our shit together. Actually, I got to start getting my shit together because we only have a couple weeks before the trip. But, Brian, I'm going to send you a link just in case here. Because I was listening on your show earlier today, and when you're out delivering mail and stuff, and some of the stuff that's just going on is just crazy. Because I've got some people that are saying, or at least it was Philly 500. I started there, and I forgot that's where I left off. But he had said he had heard that Jerry didn't want to sign Dak Prescott. And in my mind, I'm kind of like, okay, I might not agree with that. But if that's the case, why did he sign Dak Prescott? Is it a case of, I don't want you, but I don't want anybody else to have you? Does that make sense to anybody else? And I want to get your take on it, Brian, if you have a second. And I'll send you a link. And if you have time, great. I know you're a busy man. And probably have to get up early and stuff in the morning. But if you don't, that's fine too. But I sent you the link. I just don't. None of these things make sense. And I'm beginning to wonder if Jerry's got dementia because we make one move that's counterintuitive to the next. I get it. If you want to say, like Wade has said, and I don't know where Walker Wade is. Walker Wade has said, he doesn't believe in this team. Okay, I can understand that. Then why would you re-sign Dak Prescott then? Why would you go through and pay CeeDee? If you're looking and saying, let's rebuild, why go through the process of bringing back Mike McCarthy and completely handicapping him? If you're going to say, this is the last go-round, if this is the last go-round, then you say, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in as many people as possible, try and win right now. If it doesn't work, then we blow it all up next year. We don't give Dak a new contract extension. We make CeeDee play on his 5th-year option, and we do that. Okay, I might not agree with that, but that's at least a plan. That's a plan that says, we're either going to win it all or we're going to start over next year with new coaches and things. Okay, all right, I can do that. Or you say, we're not going to waste any more money into this situation, and you don't pay them and you don't bring anybody else, and you just go ahead and fire Mike McCarthy and get the process started now. Get the new guy in here this year, if it is Bill Belichick, because you could have hired him this year, and get him to start evaluating the people that you have. Do you want to bring Dak Prescott back? Is CeeDee Lamb going to grow up enough where he's a viable receiver? Or do you look and say, we need to trade him during the season to somebody and get something for him? Okay, I can get aboard on that. I'm cool with that. At least we're saying, we're going to take this year, we're going to evaluate it. But now you paid Dak and you paid CeeDee, and unfortunately, it looks like at the moment that maybe paying CeeDee wasn't the best of ideas. If we believe what we heard from Troy Aikman, that his route running is lazy. We know that he checks out real quick, jump ball. So is he saying jump ball because I didn't run my route hard and try to get in a position to grab the football? So now you're kind of like in the middle of nowhere's land. You pay Dak, you pay CeeDee, and you literally say, oh, we got the guys we want. CeeDee, who checks out. Stephen Jones says, I remember, I know I've done videos on all this stuff. But he literally said after CeeDee Lamb caught 135 passes, which is Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel's combined last year, right? You got that, right? He averaged 10.1 targets per game. That's a lot. Stephen Jones says, well, he's going to need to get about 12 to 15 targets a game. Typically, you're throwing about 30 to 40 times in a game. So you're literally saying that CeeDee Lamb has got to get 50% of the passes? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you think because he got a pay raise that his production is going to end up... Because here's where it's really crazy. I want you to think about this. If you were to extrapolate, I know it's a big word for Mark Holmes, extrapolate the numbers that he had last year and end up saying that he averages for the sake of argument, we'll say 14 touches a game. That would turn out to be around 190 catches on the season and about 2,500 yards. We do know that there's been no receiver that's made 2,000 yards, if I'm correct. I don't believe there's been any receiver in the history of the NFL that has made over 2,000 yards. Stephen Jones's comments basically says we expect to see about 2,500 yards from CeeDee. Now, again, I'm getting all the flack, all the hate, and everything else. People are telling me that, I'm doing all kinds of things with Dak Prescott's effing nuts, so to speak, okay? And we keep hearing about when you pay a guy $60 million, he should have left money on the table for others. And I'm going to ask this. Do we think that $5 million, just say hypothetically, do we think if Dak Prescott took $5 million less this year, that would make this a better team? How about $10 million? If Dak Prescott said, you know what, I'll settle for $50 million, which is less than Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, guy from Cincinnati. Damn, I can't think of his name. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Do we think if Dak Prescott took $10 million less, if we had $10 million more, that first of all, that Jerry would spend it, and we'd be a better team? Do you believe that? Oh, he did join. Okay. Well, I'll be damned. I would like, if I can find my cursor. Okay. Do we think, because that's what they're trying to sell you, that if Dak Prescott took less money, we would be, we would have gone out there and we would have gotten Derrick Henry. That we would have gone out there, and we would have made a trade for Devontae Adams. Right? That's what they're trying to sell you. Game time, Brian.
Mark Holmes, man. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. What's up, brother?
Man, I've been getting beat down, man. I've been getting shit on. And you know how that game went, right?
Oh yeah.
Let me recap it for everybody here. Exactly what happened on the game.
It was a horse performance in the second half. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
that pretty much sums it up. I mean, literally, Jim Mora, 28 years ago, almost to the day, said exactly that. And that sums up exactly what we got from the Cowboys. Let me say hello to Lola. So, game time.
Yes.
You going to talk me off the ledge?
Yeah. Listen, you know where I live, right? You know what? Listen, you get it just as much as I get it, but you know where I'm located, and it's bad here. It's bad as far as like the tone of every conversation as well. But Dallas. Everything's.
That's
everything's
their saving grace right now, right?
Yeah, Dallas. You guys. You Dallas sucks, or that's what it seems like everything is at, and it really does suck. But I just want everybody to, and I've been saying this whole thing, Mark, week to week. It's a week to week league, but it's true. Am I not right? Is it not a week to week league?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest, people. Like when you look across the landscape of the NFC, who is that good? Okay, we got blown out by New Orleans. They've lost 5 straight games, people. They haven't won, or they've lost 4 straight games. They haven't won a game
since they played us.
since they played us. Okay, Baltimore was bad, but our offense turned it on in the second half, albeit in garbage time. We lost by a field goal. I get it. Detroit was bad, but I challenge any team that loses. How many starters, Mark? How many? I don't know.
Oh
how
my
many
God.
starters?
Okay, so on defense,
I'm not trying to use that as an
D-Law,
excuse, but
Micah,
Eagles
Sam
are already
Williams,
talking about
Eric
Jalen
Kendrick,
Carter. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we had basically like 6 people off the defense. And then we had Guyton, Brandon Cooks.
You saw what happened with Philly when they didn't have their 2 main
receivers.
You saw what happened, how bad it looked. All I'm trying to say is people go, oh, you got to bring up the Eagles. I'm just trying to
You're damn right we do.
say that this is what happens. It's, it's like the worst team in the league compared to the Cowboys. If we have injuries, any team can beat anybody. It really, that's just the way it is. I mean, I get the whole narrative, and Jerry Jones didn't help us by doing what he did, Mark. He didn't, because he lost it, and it was like a chink in the armor. It's like the government. Like we all sit back and think that the government has a plan, doomsday plan. No. And then when you realize there's no doomsday plan, and they're just as dumb as we are, and we know just as much as whoever's behind the curtain running shit, then that's when it's a problem. But I would just say, if we would have lost by 3 against Detroit, now that the game is over, it's over, right? If we would have lost by a field goal, don't you think that everybody would have been going to the bye feeling a little bit better? Or even if we would have won by a field goal, they probably would have went to San Fran and got their doors blown off because, they wouldn't have put in the extra work.
Well, you got nowhere to go but here. But here's the thing that's maddening to me. Okay, I'm sorry. It's so much bullshit, and I'm actually glad. Not that I'm a big fan of Sean and RJ. Now they're Saint Sean and RJ right now.
Right.
Those
Mr.
poor guys.
You don't like YouTube content creators. Yeah,
remember, where they were literally putting themselves. You know what? I'll tell you guys. Oh, that's right. You guys don't have credentials. Well, Jerry Jones lets you know. You know what? I don't give a rat's ass about you either. When he literally said, "I can get questioned by the fans or football people."
He didn't like that, did he? He didn't like that. Oh, well, listen.
By football people, but not people I write a check to. I was like, damn. But, be that as it may, none of this makes any sense. Because, I was saying, I can get on board if you're saying, we don't like the team, the coach and all that. Then why didn't you just get rid of Mike McCarthy?
Well, that's what I talked about.
Why waste the whole season? You literally set him up to fail. You want to make sure he looks like shit and can't get a job elsewhere?
Well, this is what I worry about. What's sorry. Like what I worry about is this. I worry about we look back at our championship team, and we always thought that they had a plan, and they were building off a plan. They went out and got Troy Aikman. We won 1 game that year. It was Steve Walsh who won it. And then we went to 7-9. Then we went to 11-5. Mm-hmm. We had a plan. We had a progression. They had an idea of what they wanted to do. Again, I'm glad that we were able to re-sign Dak, but now you're hearing Brian Broaddus basically saying, "What's up, Johnny U Vegas, Philly D? What's going on, everybody?" We basically are hearing, "Well, Jerry's upset." Jerry's upset because, he was kind of forced into signing these guys and stuff. And so you don't really know where the organization is going. There's no direction, right? There's no direction.
So Jerry doesn't want anybody to question any moves he makes. Then why is it that he was boxing the corner to signing Dak and CeeDee? Why? Well, that doesn't even make sense.
It makes no sense.
Okay?
None.
If you're saying, don't question me, I'm going to do whatever the F I want to, then why are you now saying I was forced into making Dak contract?
Yeah.
What?
And this is where I wanted to bring this up. This is where I think that we're in serious trouble until Jerry. I'm not rooting or wishing ill will upon Jerry Jones. I'm really not. He brought us the 3 championships. I appreciate everything. But like Al Davis, towards the end, he got to be a bitter old man who couldn't take criticism and was stubborn. And you know who got the short end of the stick? The fans, because the product just went down and down and down. They would ride a losing horse, and they would, and just out of sheer stupidity, stubbornness, like, the
Just
Raider
win, baby.
fans were stuck. But here's my thing, the NFL is not easy. The GM is supposed to be in the building a lot at all times. He's supposed to have his hand on everything.
Not Jerry.
He's not supposed to be at owners' meetings in Atlanta. Okay,
Negotiating deals with Grand Prix.
Right, and the other day, Mike McCarthy was an hour and a half late for his press conference, and the reason being, it has come out that he was in watching film with Jerry because Jerry had to get on his copter to go do something. So he was basically watching, and Jerry was asking all these questions. Why isn't our offense this? Yeah, this, that, and the third. But then Jerry leaves. A normal GM, people, and everybody in the chat, a normal GM, they are locked through the bye week, and that's their job. Their job is player acquisition. Their job is how can we get the offense? And you work hand in hand with the head coach.
Yeah.
Yet our GM is the owner. That's the problem. People don't understand. He's 82 years old. And now we're hearing they're throwing Will McClay under the bus, and they're throwing Stephen Jones under the bus. No, sorry, Jerry, you don't get to do that. You're the GM. You got to take the hit. That's just how it works.
There's a couple of things that don't make sense, that haven't made sense to me for years. One of them has been Will McClay staying with the Cowboys, because to me, Will McClay could have gotten a GM job elsewhere where he'd have full control of building a team as opposed to the shit bag that we have here. You know what I mean? Because when you sit here and think, as much as everybody says Dak Prescott, he's taking all the money and he's got to perform more than this. We've got the worst running game in football. We are the very bottom in separation with our wide receivers. Our offensive line is bottom 10. Zach Martin literally graded out as a 0 in pass blocking. And so you've got 2 rookies that are starting on the offensive line. So the quarterback's got no time. He's got no running game, so that means play action doesn't mean shit. His receivers can't get open, so he's got a choice of, do I throw into, a guy that's covered, or do I throw it away?
Yeah, well,
and everybody, he's look at what is Dak looking at? Well, maybe it was a lazy route by the damn receiver. But then I get told
I'm getting to.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting. You remember Dak?
You're just swinging on Dak's nut. He's just a sorry quarterback.
No. We'll hammer Dak.
Fuck?
Dak hasn't been great in the red zone. He hasn't been.
Nobody's been great.
No, exactly. I'm not going to just point out Dak. And Dak's not the reason why you're giving up 47 points. Listen, I get frustrated too. We paid Dak $16 million, but like Brian Broaddus also says, you can't hold that against Dak. Okay, that's not Dak's fault that they paid him $60 million. It's the fault of the owner if not addressing it sooner. But at the end of the day, you can't do that, because Dak will get passed very soon, and he'll be the 5th highest. That's just how this works, people. And I just want to touch on something because it's been a long day, but I did write it down so I don't forget. You know how Dak was coming out and he said we got to practice better. He's been saying things, and I told you this a couple weeks ago. He's been kind of making. I like this Dak more. He's kind of calling people out. We got to be ready to go. Well, it's here. Luke Schoonmaker ran the wrong route on one of Dak's the interceptions. That was a great play by Brian Branch. Okay, here's the issue. The way we practice, Dak probably had that look down near the end zone where the safety bit every time and stayed with the underneath guy every time, because that's just the way we practice. Brian Branch is an athlete. Brian Branch broke off. He dropped back into the end zone. It looked bad on Dak's part. That was a great play, but to Dak's, and this comes from an inside source, to Dak's, defense in practice, it worked every time. But you get into a well-coached team like Detroit, Brian Branch doesn't suck up. He drops back, and it looks bad, but really, that's the NFL. You don't have big windows.
They get paid to make plays over there, too.
Yeah, yeah. So they're not doing stuff right. This is what happens, and I don't know if you heard a podcast that was yesterday from the Detroit Lions. They did a podcast.
Where he
I don't know whose podcast.
It was I'm in St. Brown's, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
he had one of their D-backs on there. And he basically said,
we just had to lock down CD.
That's all he had to do, and it was over.
And because everybody's, and listen, me and Mark has said this a long time ago to me personally, and we've both said CD has some growing up to do. We're just going to leave it at that. Yeah. We're not going to take it any further. Mm-hmm. But CD has to mature. But they even said he's a playmaker. We need to make sure he's taken care of, and we'll let our athletes take care of the young guys, meaning the Jalen's. Yeah, we don't have Brandon Cooks there. He's got a knee injury. So, again, that's all. That all falls down on the GM people. I mean, they're sitting there complaining about the Eagles' offense, Mark, when they got 2 number 1 receivers and Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Yeah. So as much as we take crap from the Eagle fans, they know. Deep down, they know what we're dealing with.
Well, they've got a cake schedule in comparison. We've got Murderers Row coming up. But
we do.
I don't know that they beat the Giants.
Well, I think they can, but again,
they got to play a lot better than they did against Cleveland.
We got so much shit in our opener on the road in Cleveland where we blew them out and we played lousy in the second half and still blew their doors off. I don't know. Put it in the chat. What was the final score? It was
for the
we
Eagles.
Blew them out.
26.
No,
us. Oh, what? 48 to 9.
No. I'm talking about we blew out the Browns on opening day, whatever it was.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
the Browns.
we blew them out, and yet the Browns go into Philly last week, and it's a 1-possession ball game in the last 5 minutes of the game. They are freaking out here.
33-17.
They're like, what's going on? So, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Yeah, there you go, 33-17. We took care of business, KVG. We did. We took care of business, and it was ugly in the second half. But we still got 3 wins, people. We beat a Steeler team who was 3-1. So, again, everybody wants to write the demise of the Dallas Cowboys when we're healthy, and nobody's fully healthy. So I'm not sitting there saying when we get everybody back. But we're going to be a lot more competitive against the San Francisco 49ers. I can guarantee you. I'm not telling you we're going to win the game, but it's going to be a 1-score game. I keep hearing blowout. There's no way. We're 3-0 on the road. You don't do that in this league without being a decent team.
Well, here's what I said was
Twiz,
the most Cowboy thing is that we'll go on the road and we'll beat San Francisco, and then all of the problems
we'll
that we have.
We'll lose to Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know how it works, but again, I don't think it's a blowout. I don't know how anybody can sit back and say it's a blowout. It's absolutely a ridiculous thing to say. You should know that this is a dysfunctional Dallas team. We're going to go and fight our butts off against San Fran, who has to play this Sunday. We have a distinct advantage. I would be surprised if we're blown out in San Fran. We might even win the damn game. I kind of feel that we are. I just think it's one of them years, Mark. We're going to win the game. Everybody's writing us off. We're one game out of the division.
San Francisco's got their own problems, too.
They do.
Christian McCaffrey has been... that whole situation is crazy. It's like they don't know when that guy's going to play. It doesn't look like he'll be playing against us. And they're playing Kansas City. They might get beat the hell up this week.
Again, you don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, Jalen Carter goes to practice on Wednesday and hurts his knee. Now, he looks like he's going to play, but he's not 100%. So now... and I don't know if any of my Eagle fans heard it. I'm sure Twiz is aware.
Somebody else got hurt today too, didn't they?
I know Jalen Carter got hurt in practice on Thursday. So, but I believe he practiced today, or somebody said he practiced today. I didn't hear that.
Oh, so Jordan Mailata went on IR.
Hey, Kiana, yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want to see that for the Birds, but hey, welcome to our I mean, welcome to what we're dealing with.
Hold up. So Eagles rule 3 players out. Jordan Mailata,
Hey, Ginger.
Dallas Goedert's out too.
Really?
And
oh, yeah,
Byron
Dallas
Young.
Goedert's out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again, Nick Sirianni, a.k.a. Dracula, had a press conference today, and I was listening to it, and he's getting grilled. And I told everybody this before the season. They were like, well, how come Kellen Moore is not running his offense? You know what they said, Mark, in the press conference today?
What?
The Dak Prescott style offense. That's what the Philly media went to Sirianni this morning because I was listening to it on my mail route.
Oh, my God.
And they said, what is your offense? Kellen Moore never ran this type of offense. And he said what I said. And I think it's the right move, but it's not working. Basically, Nick Sirianni says, well, we have to put an offense together with the talent and to maximize Jalen Hurts.
In other words, Jalen Hurts isn't as good as Dak Prescott as far as passing
he runs the RPO.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see the 4,500 yards that Dak did,
And I
and
said,
that's what they want to see.
You're not going to see it with Jalen Hurts.
You're not going to see it, and now, people are going to take that as you're putting a slight on Jalen Hurts. No, I'm saying he's an RPO quarterback, and once Kellen Moore got in there and realized that's what he has to run. So now they're really panicking because they don't know that the offense is going to be much better than what it's been because they're expecting this thing to open up. And there was another thing where a reporter asked Jalen, I don't have the exact numbers. I get in trouble with a couple people about the facts. God forbid somebody says something that's, but
gotta take care of Ginger. Ginger's hurting now because they're on like a 3-game lose streak too.
Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball over the middle of the field. And they questioned Jalen. They said, well, why don't you throw the ball over the middle of the field? He goes, well, I just don't really throw the ball over the middle of the field. Why? I don't know. Because A.J. Brown, his first year with the Eagles,
he's great across the middle.
He was a machine with the slant. So I'm not sure why they don't get back to that because I think that's something that Jalen can do well. But Jalen doesn't throw the ball over the middle of the field too much, and he's getting a lot of flack for that. If you're playing against the Eagles, you want to cover the outsides because that's where he throws the ball a lot. But again, I know this is a Cowboy channel, but I just wanted to let everybody just take a breath. We're 3-3. We have a gauntlet, but don't let us come out of here, going 500 over the next 4 games. Because if that's the case, then we're going to go on a run, people. So I'm sorry. And I don't know that ultimately is good for the Cowboys because I don't know. Sometimes I think it's better that it all comes crumbling down, Mark, and that's the only way we're going to get better. But then we look at it and we just signed CD and we just signed Dak. It's like, what are we doing? It's so it's very
so
disjointed. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I don't know.
We both said that. Okay.
I know.
Here's what I'm going to say. Maybe it's a good thing that everything came to a head and has erupted and exploded. Get everything out in the open and things because that's how you're going to fix something. We've been denying the problems we've had. Jerry Jones and the trust the process. We're all in. We believe in our guys and everything else, and everything's great. No, let's put the cards on the table and realize we have some problems. You wide receivers, you got to work on your damn route running. The practices, you're sucking ass in practice. You need to go through and have some tough practices and get your shit together.
You saw what Troy Aikman said, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Wade, what up? We don't got the horses. There he is, Mr. Negative.
But it's the NFL, though, bro. We've been 3-5. 3-5. You remember that? And won the division. I'm going to still say, I know everybody's swinging on the Commanders right now, but they ain't beat anybody that's had more than one win. And they're playing Carolina this weekend. So that's like a bye weekend.
And that's good. Good. You'll be 5-2. Again, it is what it is. It's a long
No more calling
season,
Nick Sirianni Dracula because he's not related to him. Okay. Actually, he looks like a vampire.
No, yeah,
And quite frankly,
he needs some color.
He's a punk. They get a win, and he's out there cussing at the fan. What the hell is that?
He's fighting with his own fans.
What the hell
they
is
hate
that?
him. They hate him. They liked him when they were winning and going to the Super Bowl. They loved him. Now, this same guy, the curtain has been lifted, and they see that this guy is a fraud. And it was Shane Steichen's offense, and let's face it, he didn't have much to do with it. But again, I'm not here to hammer the birds. I'm just saying Eagle fans don't like Nick Sirianni.
Okay, so I've come up with, or at least looking at statistics, and this one is really bad. If you look at most teams, the run average per run that they have versus what they give up, most teams that are good teams have a positive number on that. For example, Minnesota is like plus almost a yard. Okay, which makes sense. They're winning games.
Right.
Okay. Kansas City is like 0.2, positive on it. But pretty much everybody that's positive with those numbers is on a win. There's only one team that's worse than us in that, and I think it's New England. But we are giving up 4.6 yards per run, and we're averaging 3.5. So we're a negative yard 0.1 every time we run the football, or they run the football. And unfortunately, Super Sports, Ricky, thank you for the super chat. Also with Reven S, thank you for the super chat. I need my Fire the GM shirt, laugh out loud. Super Sports Ricky, I'm sorry, they're still sitting over here. Send me another email to remind me your address again. I suck. What happened was, we couldn't block, we couldn't tackle, and we certainly couldn't mail a goddamn thing either. But we just have so many things that we're the worst at. I honestly,
I'm not here to tell people that we're playing good football. That would be asinine. I'm not saying we are. I'm saying the facts are we're 3-3. The facts are, as we sit here now, we're a game out of the division. Mm-hmm. The facts are we got how many more games to play?
11.
So, again, here's the deal, people. The offseason's way too long to say it's over. We're Cowboys fans. Anybody that thinks not buying a T-shirt is going to hurt Jerry Jones or not going to a game is going to hurt Jerry Jones, you would have to do that for seasons on end.
Let me explain something to you guys here, okay? When you went to the Commanders game that last time with us, how full was the stadium?
3/4.
And maybe. Probably half of that was Cowboy fans.
Half of that was Cowboy fans.
Yeah, that place had not sold out in like forever. That was a stadium that used to hold 105,000 fans.
Yeah.
And they took seats out because they couldn't sell it out. That team hasn't done shit for 34 years. And guess what? They're the fifth most valuable franchise in football with a dump-ass stadium because of revenue sharing.
How many home games does Dallas
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, but Dallas plays,
8 or 9.
You have your 8 or 9 and maybe a playoff game, right? Okay.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
One preseason. So you're maybe 12 if you're lucky, 11, whatever. Like in totality out of a whole 365 days a year. They rent that baby out to monster truck rallies, the rodeo,
World
to
Cup
boxing
soccer,
matches,
Mike
basketball,
Tyson, Jake Paul.
Everything. That they're making money. Okay, they're a $1 billion industry. People go, I can't believe you're going to Dallas. Stop it. I mean, that's just economics 101. It's like buying a T-shirt is like a penny to Jerry Jones. Not even. It's less than a penny.
Not even a penny.
You know what I mean? So everybody just needs to relax, enjoy what we have. Yes, we have a tough stretch. Maybe look at it like, wow, okay. Everybody's trying to compare this to a situation when Jason Garrett came in. We were 1-7 that year.
Mm-hmm.
We were 1-7. We're 3-3 now. I'm not ready to give up on the season. Now, ultimately, do I think it's going to amount to a Super Bowl? No. But you tell me who else in the NFC. I'm telling you now that Detroit has a good chance of losing this week. Why? Because they just had their Super Bowl. With all the revenge and all the anger from, they took it out. They ran 5 tackle eligible plays against us, Mark, which is an absolute embarrassment. Okay. They didn't score on any of them, but that's not the point. They were running that shit up on you. You know how it works. Now they got to go into Minnesota. Everybody's saying Detroit. You're wrong. It's going to be a close game, and they may lose this game. That's just the way the NFL is, people. That's just the way it is. So, again, I'm not happy with Jerry, people. You guys can think to whatever you want, but we haven't lost a game on the road. Until we lose one, then talk to me. So, Super Sport Ricky sent you an email. So,
okay, cool beans.
Yeah, he'll get it taken care of. But
and here at least is the good news. At least the ticket prices have dropped like a mother humper.
Yeah, well, Wade wants back in. I'm like, nah, man, you're out, bro. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. He's out.
Okay.
We can't. He's bad luck, you said, right?
Well, the one game I went with him, we lost.
You let him sit at the bar, lube up, and that way when it's over, he'll be happy either way.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That'll be funny. But
all right.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not giving up on this season. Again, I want to see this. Okay, you guys want a positive note before we get out of here? I know Mark's tired. Jordan Lewis is playing arguably the best football of his career. So let's put him back with Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis, and Trayvon Diggs, who's still working his way back from the ACL. Okay, I'm excited for that. Aren't you? Hopefully Mike is back. I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, definitely.
I don't know. Am I stupid?
Well, we are stupid. We are Cowboy fans.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. All right, so let me just ask everybody. If we beat the 49ers next Sunday, and I know, you ain't winning. Okay. It's not in stone.
Well, they said we weren't going to win Pittsburgh either.
Right, exactly. And they were 3-1 team, and they're a good team. They're not great, but they're a good team. Y'all wrong, so wrong. I'm getting a seat, damn it. LOL. You're out. Anyway, yeah, so like Mark, if we beat the Niners next week, what would your mindset be? I'm just curious. Let's say we win by a field goal. We kick a 55-yarder to win.
I'm going to tell you, I think we're going to win that game. That's what's the craziest thing about that is.
Well, I have that feeling too, but I don't want to flex it because I don't know where it's coming from. It makes no sense.
You know why? I don't want to say.
But then what would you feel like?
Hold on. I don't want to say that this shit is scripted, but it seems like no. It's all okay. So everybody will put their money on San Francisco, and then the Cowboys. Boom. I'm not going to say that that swings a whole lot of money, but it swings a whole lot of freaking money, man.
Lord, I mean, Rob A, he's an Eagle fan. He's one of my channel members, and he shows me his bets. He bets pretty heavy. He showed me like some of his losses lately. I mean, he's been on a roll, but some of his losses, he lost on the brand. This is an Eagle fan that's bet Dallas twice and lost. I said, you're an idiot. Stop betting Dallas. Mm-hmm. He had the game where Brandon Aubrey missed the 40-yard field goal. Dallas won the game, but he missed the field goal and he lost by a half a point. He lost $1,000. I'm like, dude, stop betting on Dallas. I mean, it's just like I wouldn't bet on the NFL. Oh, sorry, bet US. You go get your bets in. But I mean, on the real, I wouldn't put anything heavy on anybody.
Well, I've told my dad stop putting money on the Cowboys. But he had 2 winners last night.
That was always my unwritten rule. Never bet the Cowboys because I never got them right.
It used to be they were always covering. Now all of a sudden they can't.
Philadelphia, absolutely. Thursday Night Football stinks. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not putting my money on that product because you don't know what you're getting from week to week. So, yeah, Andy's 7-0. Andy's 7-0 against Shanahan. There you go, Twiz. There you go. That's a good stat for you, brother.
There you go.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at, Mark. I'm in the sky is not falling. I'm not happy that we lost, 47 or whatever, 49-7, whatever the hell it was, or 47-9.
Well, it's
but
better.
it's one
It's
loss.
better to lose like that and get
Well, right.
embarrassed, and hopefully you turn that shit around into something.
If not, I mean, like if we go out and get waxed in San Fran, then yeah, the sky's falling. We're gonna go to Dallas with like picket signs or something. we're gonna be at the Star getting thrown out. No, I don't know. I'm Niners 27-24. Niners all damn day. That's a great score. I could see that. I'm thinking it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I'm just saying.
Washington is a 9.5 point favorite over Carolina.
I would take Carolina with the points.
I think I might do that one too. Jeez, that's a lot of points.
Because this is going to show me a lot about Washington because these are the hard games. You're a young rookie quarterback, right? How are you going to be mentally ready to go against the Carolina Panthers? It's not like you're going against Bryce Young. You're going against the Red Rifle who can move the ball. They have some weapons.
+1 against San Fran. And we got 2 games on Monday night. Baltimore.
Brian, if you got 8.5, you'll get invited in. Well, thank God. I just meet the. No, I'm sorry. Dirty Sanchez.
Okay.
Stop it. Oh, God.
Man, I am so numb. That pick early
Thanks,
was so
Twiz.
unlike him.
Thanks, brother. Go Giants. Go Big Blue.
I was watching Chase Daniels. I don't know if you ever see his stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen it lately.
He was going through with the game with Dak, and his first thing was on the first 11 passes, Dak was pressured on 8 of them. He's like, the offensive line is terrible, and you're at this point you literally have to try and hurry up and just get rid of the freaking ball. There's no time to survey the field, and this is where I almost think. Tyler Guyton, they're basically saying he's going to go back and start. But I think they need to shake some shit up. I'm not sure Tyler Guyton is the answer.
This is what happened last game. Like you said, Zach Martin hasn't been great, but here's what happens. Tyler Smith being at the left guard helps BB and Guyton because he's so good. When you put Tyler out to tackle, then it's a little weak, So I actually think we'll be better with Guyton, but he's going through his growing pains. He got a little bit out of whack with hopping out early and getting off balance instead of trusting his feet. Because the one thing that you've seen Guyton, even when he's beat, he's able to catch up with his feet and carry the end out, So I think he'll be fine. I think it's good. Obviously, it's going to be a struggle. He's struggling, people. He is. But I think he needs to play. Tyler being next to him is going to help him and Cooper Beebe. And, I think that's where we got to go. If we're going down with the ship, can we at least play the young guys to see who's a player and who's not? That's what I want to see. Let the kid play, at this point, let's let the kid play. Niners all day, a ski-mask Cowboys season. Yeah, well, Mark, it's funny. They're trying to have all these trades. They want Max Crosby in Philly. This is what I say. Howie does good in player acquisition, but Howie ain't a great drafter.
Oh, they're terrible.
That
whole idea of let's just draft all the Georgia defensive players and we'll have a great defense.
Not working.
That shit's blown up in their face.
Yeah, that's not working. Now the rumor is Dallas might be, like Will McClay might be under fire because of the whole, Here's the thing, Mark. If Jerry Jones is not running the show 100% and taking advice from whoever, wouldn't you be pissed too? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Stephen Jones is in his ear saying, you got to sign this, you got to do that, you got to do that.
I feel like we're the Raiders. I think that, Mark Davis, it will be Stephen Jones, or Stephen Jones will be Mark Davis. that literally the ship is crashing with Jerry Jones. When he goes, he's passing it on to Stephen Jones, and he's going to be a freaking idiot. Although I may say that the Raiders might be in better shape because they just got Tom Brady as a part owner. That maybe that's, will give him some credibility and point him in the right direction.
I would like to see Troy Aikman get involved, because Troy Aikman's got fire. I always see that clip of when Barry Switzer took over.
But why would you leave? I'm sure he's making a boatload of money.
I'm not. Well, he can still stay in the booth. I'm just saying, because Tom Brady's still staying in the booth.
I guess you're right on that one.
But I'm just saying, we need an outside voice, like an ambassador. Like, I would love Jimmy Johnson to get involved. I mean, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Here's where I don't want to keep saying dementia. But, when you start getting older, you want to have things that are familiar. Do you notice how everything the Cowboys do is always about, like, comfort? Mike Zimmer.
Yeah.
We know him, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about now Troy Aikman or something, bringing back Troy. But players, you go back and bring in Zeke because we know what to expect with Zeke.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move.
They're constantly always doing somebody who's been tied to the past or somebody we're familiar with. And this is where they need to just go in the whole opposite direction. Unless Jerry Jones finally says, you know what, I've tried, I was wrong, and gets a GM and some real football people and say, Stephen Jones, you're just going to be a freaking owner. It's not going to change. They don't. Stephen does not have the wherewithal to manage the money the right way. Everybody talking? Well, Dak got $65 million. Okay, I get that, but Terrence Steele got $82 million. Michael Gallup got $52 million. Zeke
Terrence
got
Steele's
90.
Playing horribly.
That's what I'm
Terrence
saying.
Steele's
So you look
playing
at
bad.
that. Hell, Trey Lance is the 10th highest cap hit this year. $5.3 million.
Man, that
you want to hear how bad that is? I want you to understand. He is the third highest backup, but all of those other backups are actually the backup. He's the third string.
Yeah, that's just where we talk about it's all disjointed. There's not, like, why would you go do that move? It was all
Why would you do that move? Give up a fourth for him, but you wouldn't give up a third for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Or you gave a number one for Amari Cooper. 3 years later, you gave him up for a 5. He's then traded for a third. You paid too much. You got too little on both of those deals. And that's the problem. You keep getting screwed over. I mean, think about when Amari Cooper, we traded him for a 5th. The Eagles traded for A.J. Brown with the 1st.
Yeah, that was a great trade too. A.J. Brown is the I would think most Eagle fans would admit A.J. Brown is the life of that football team.
Yeah.
He just is. He's that good, people. He's better than CD. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. AJ's better than CD. Why? He's more consistent. He's better team. I don't know if he's a better teammate. I think he is. He's slightly better. CD just, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's a great receiver.
A head case, man.
He's just young and immature, I think. I think he got the money now, and I'm a little concerned going forward with CeeDee Lamb, but it made me feel a little better that the Detroit guys were like, as long as we can
take out,
make sure, take him out, then we're good. So
here's one of those crazy ones. Okay, think about every big contract that the Cowboys have done, with the exception of Dak's. Do you know every single one of them?
I agree, Niner, all day.
They ended up. They never went through and played the whole contract. They ended up cutting every single one of them, releasing them, trading them, or whatever. They never got the value out of them. Dak is the only big contract, because we can talk about Romo, we can talk about Dez, we can talk about guys like J. Rat and Miles Austin and D-Ware. Dak is the only big contract that they made that the guy actually played through the whole contract and got another one.
Yeah. I don't think Dak's the issue. Dak gets a lot of crap, but he needs to play better. He does, but again, I'm sorry, you need help out there. And his CD, once he's doubled, he kind of it curls up and quits.
Yeah.
He gets all bitchy. Sometimes, and that's where, these younger guys aren't stepping up like I thought. Now, they have time to. Tolbert's had flashes, but not enough. Schoonmaker's a waste. Like I said, he ran the wrong route that cost Dak an interception, and it looks bad on Dak because it's a red zone, like Twiz is saying, red zone. It's true, but it wasn't a two-way route. He literally ran the wrong route, and that's Luke Schoonmaker. That's your second-round draft pick from last year.
Suck at second-round picks, man.
We need to just trade the second-round pick, or because. We can't do it. We could draft half decently, but not in the second round.
Not in the second round, we can't. Not in the second round.
Diggs was good, but you get lucky every
Diggs
once in a
and
while.
D-Law. Okay,
Yeah.
it's Diggs, D-Law, and Sean Lee.
Yeah,
since
Sean
2012.
Lee, we drafted him hurt and he retired hurt. So as good as he was, he never really maxed out. Brandon Tisdale need to be more aggressive, grinding out games. That's where I think Jerry lost his mind, because he, even I said, and I'm a mailman from South Jersey, right? I think I know the game, but I'm not getting paid to know every in and out of the game. I knew that we had to score 40 points. I thought we would score a lot of points. We didn't get a touchdown.
We couldn't get a touchdown, man.
It was like we drove down the field the first couple drives with ease, didn't score, and the team let up and said, "Oh my God,
bro!" What you witnessed that night was, God, what was the quarter? What was Bobby Lane? Was that the quarterback that put the 50-year curse on the Lions?
Yeah.
What you saw was the Lions franchise since 1950 exercising every freaking demon that they had and just pouring it all out on the Cowboys.
And I want everybody to understand what Mark's saying here. The Lions have been in the league the long time and never have won a Super Bowl. They have no Super Bowl wins. We all break each other's stones, and we all get, it's been so long since the Cowboys. I get it. It's way too long, but we do have a lot of them. So Eagles have been more successful. Detroit has never won a Super Bowl. They're one of those teams. So I'm not hating on Detroit. It's one of those deals. If anybody's playing anything competitive, if you want to shut the other team up, then play better. That's it. As much as I hated getting run up on, you deserved it because you couldn't stop it. It's like going up against Jordan. You think Jordan cared? He would put up 50 on your ass if you're not going to D up. Difference is, some teams would knock them to the floor every once in a while. Seemed like we rolled over a little too easy the other night.
You want to hear an interesting one? Because remember before the Eagles won a Super Bowl, they used to always brag about their world championships, the 3 that they had. Do you know that the Lions actually had 4?
Yeah, like world championships before the Super Bowls. Yeah, yes. I was just talking Super Bowl era. Yeah. But I knew that. I did know that they were, very successful with like 11 team or whatever.
Yeah,
13 teams, whatever it was.
They had actually 10 teams, I think it was.
Yeah.
But they had great players like Bobby Night Train Lane and things like that.
Great players. But I feel bad. We were at Detroit. I thought it was a great city. Don't get me wrong. We heard the stories that they were like, they told all the criminals, be on your best behavior for the week of the draft.
Detroit isn't as bad as it used to be.
But I thought it was, I don't know. I thought we had a great time. It was nice. With the monorail, I really had a good time. So I don't hate Detroit. I think this is going to be the death nail. They went and kicked ass, and I think losing Aiden Hutchinson ain't going to help.
Oh, that was huge. That was
do you know what? But they're already talking to the Jets about trading for Hassan Reddick. They are the leading candidate. They have reached out.
Yep.
So they're going to go right out and replace the need that they have. Kudos to them.
Which is something we don't do. We have literally no linebackers on the roster, and what do? Oh, we'll just make a safety. That'll fit. Shit. Throw it on there. Yeah.
Talk a capper, a goose egg. No, you got one, Twiz. You got one. Oh, you're talking about us?
No,
oh,
he's
yeah.
talking. Oh, okay. Oh,
I know
Capper.
who he's talking about.
Okay.
I mean, you act like you were like when Twiz says that. It's I understand what you're saying, but you act like you've been some juggernaut. You've got one Super Bowl. Come on, man. You're not the Chiefs in the, whatever.
Yeah, and right now you're going downhill fast. Okay.
Yeah, it don't look good.
The Eagles, you might want to slow your roll just a little bit there, bro. Just might want to.
No, because he's used to it. He's used to the rug being pulled out from under him. So it's coming. I just hope it don't come on Sunday for you, because if you lose to the Giants stink.
I am praying that they lose to the Giants, so that way.
Well, yeah, it would be nice to see, but I'm not banking on it.
You know what they're doing to me on the Dan Saleo show.
I didn't see last week's, but normally I do. What did they do to you?
I mean, just a
colonoscopy.
If they had been so nice, I mean, it's just like.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about Big Sills. He's full of crap. Sorry,
you got that
he likes to crap on everybody. He ain't no Eagle fan.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He just likes to team up with Philly because it's fun, So, wouldn't it be funny if we beat the Niners? Wouldn't it be funny?
Oh, the world would literally go crazy. And that's exactly why the Cowboys.
I got news for everybody. If we were to beat the Niners, I wouldn't feel that much better because I know what's coming next. But I'm just saying, this year has always been, what are you going to do in the playoffs? Really, like if we were 5-1 right now, it would be okay. That's great, but it's all about the playoffs. So if we get there, we'll see. If we don't get there, then we're going to see a lot of change. I'm just wondering who's going to be the next coach. That's very interesting to me.
Well, Brian, I'm going to get ready to get out of here.
Yeah,
I know you got to get to work
I got to get out myself.
So tell everybody where to find you. I'm so proud.
Game Time Brian. Yeah, everybody should know by now. Everybody should know. We're doing good. Not praying.
Misery loves company, apparently.
Yeah. Well, they're all loving the fact that we are struggling. So that's fine. Jerry Jones has created a juggernaut as far as haters out there. Alan Williams, Game Time Brian, join Mark on. Now, I can't do that, man. I normally work on Wednesdays. They don't want me. They like beating up on him. They don't want a guy like me. I'll be on for about 10 minutes, and then Big Sills will tell me to go F myself. I'll tell him to go F himself, and that'll be it. Mark's better at that than I am.
All right, good people. I appreciate you, Brian.
Good time,
and
man.
Don't forget to check out BetUS and use the promo code YouTube150 so that way you can get 150% matching. And take it away, Jim Mora.
It was a horse performance in the second half. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job.